welcome to episode 129 of the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast. Woo! Today we are doing a shorter, we'll call it a microcast.
Yeah.
It's just me, Taco.
Jason with Concealment Solutions.
And we are in the taco garage.
Wow.
We've descended below.
Back to our roots.
Yeah, we have a lot of people inside making a bunch of noise, and there's a lot of people outside, so you might hear some whooping and hollering in the background.
Just time constraints kept us from driving down to the studio and doing things properly, but we wanted to get a show out.
Yeah, it's because we love you, the listeners, that we are sacrificing our half hour to 45 minutes to record this.
We know how much you're paying for this, and we want you to get your money's worth.
Oh, yes. So today, well, let's go ahead and hit our sponsors real fast. We'll do quick shouts to our sponsors.
For real this time?
Yeah. NOEbulletmolds.com. They are the makers of the finest bullet molds on the planet.
In the universe.
And I got to pick up a prototype mold. I guess it's not a prototype, it's the first run of their steel molds.
Oh,
so
I thought you'd had some already.
Now that was one that was set up to cast in a master caster.
Oh, okay.
It's got a funky sprue plate, but for hand casting,
I gotcha.
it's like the regular size of their 2-cavity aluminum and brass molds, but it's made out of steel.
How is it compare weight-wise?
So they're heavy. Like,
are they heavier than the brass or this? I guess they don't do cast iron, but they're out there.
Yeah, so it would be similar to like the cast iron blocks.
Okay, so they're pretty heavy then.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Okay.
And it would probably be similar to brass. I would have to like take two of them and weigh them and see how close they are, but it's something where if you had like the NOE sized mold, if you had, I don't know, like a 4 or 5 cavity, it'd be too heavy.
Yeah.
So they're just doing them in 2-cavity blocks.
Work out.
Yeah. But anyways, I got one of those, tested it today with some zinc casting.
Nice.
I could talk about that more a little bit when we get to what we did with guns.
Yeah.
But so the first runs, and this will be awesome for our listeners so they can, if they have a 44 mag, it's a 200 and it's about 240 grain round flat nose bullet mold, and that one comes out to be 141 to 143 grains in zinc. So our listeners will have the first heads up that I think the first batch of them he ran, he just did about 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout, keep refreshing, I guess, until they're listed. They should be listed today or in the next couple days. Okay. So if by the time this gets released, then you should check the NOE site and see if there's the iron molds, or not iron, the steel molds. Yeah. So.
And when they order one, they use the code FLT001.
And they'll save 10%. They also have a new product, the Coke bottle adapter for sizing bullets. And you just throw it on top of a Lee. The NOE is a bushing push-through sizing die. The Lee is just a regular sizing push-through sizing die.
Right.
It sets on the top, and then the Coke bottle screws on top, and it works. It works great.
Catches all your bullets.
So then you have a big reservoir, a 2-liter reservoir up there. So
that's a lot of lead.
Yeah, and then we have Utah Air Guns.
Yep.
UtahAirGuns.com. Mentioning Travis. Thanks for the heads up on those pellets, and I don't know if there's any left for everybody else, but I got what I needed.
Yeah, so there isn't left.
So use coupon code AIRCANDY, and it will save you free shipping.
It'll get you free shipping and free
turret stickers. Yeah.
Yep. And Black Ice Coatings at blackicecoatings.com.
Just use coupon code SLICKERY and tell them that
see what happens.
The Concealed Taco Dudes are the best.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I called Lee up finally and scheduled a day for our young men's group.
Oh, cool.
The older boys.
Yeah.
So this last week, I did a ton of stuff with guns this last week. But we built an AR with the boys.
Nice.
And a couple ARs. And so we're going to go in a couple weeks to... he's going to give us a tour of the shop. Hopefully have something ready to dip. So he can show us a dip. Yeah.
That's a cool process.
It's cool to see. Yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, and then we're going to drop off two rifles and have them coated, and maybe a couple more.
And they're going to pick.
Yeah, So one of the boys is the owner of the gun, right? His dad bought the parts and stuff, so
Right.
he's gonna pick his own color scheme and pattern. But I'm giving the other boys free reign over
Nice.
whatever coating and everything.
So during my open house, I had a listener come in. I was talking with him about some things, and I can't remember if it was an air gun that he had or if it was something else now. And he's had Lee do stuff for him also. He's doing the flying pigs.
Oh, really?
I can't.
You don't remember what it is?
I think it's an air gun, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I was like, oh, I'll tell Taco.
I really need to do one of those. Yeah,
him.
man, that's awesome.
So that's kind of cool. But yeah,
is he doing that because we've been talking?
Because we've been talking about it. Sure.
Okay. You need to have him take a picture of it and
send it in. Yeah,
send
for sure.
it to us so we can take a look at it.
I'm sure it will hit Black Ice's social media.
Oh, totally.
Once
that's awesome.
Done. But yeah, that's cool. So check out Black Ice Coatings for all your gun coating needs: Teflon, Hydro Dip, Cerakote, Powder Coat, Teflon. Did I say Teflon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can say it again.
Okay, Teflon.
Yeah.
And who else do we have? Concealment Solutions.
Best holsters on the planet.
Best holsters on the... Been moving a lot of chest holsters.
You know, it's lately. The summer. Yeah, the outdoorsy
people are getting out. Just a lot of drop legs, too. I think people with this war going on
they're thinking about...
In the East, it's got people thinking about, am I prepared? Do I have what I need? I don't think anybody's thinking it's coming this way.
Yeah.
But it makes you think, and it makes you reevaluate what you have and what you might need. And it's always a good excuse to go buy something new.
oh, for sure. And it's fun to buy new gear and test it out.
For sure.
And testing those drop legs is kind of fun because you can wear them at the range.
Yeah.
You can sit down and shoot with the drop leg.
Yeah. It's a great sidearm for hunting.
Yeah.
Especially if it's colder and you're wearing a coat because it sits below the waist of your coat.
Yeah.
So it still gives you easy access to it and everything.
Yeah.
It moves with you.
I can't remember if it's my dad or my uncle where you built that drop leg 22 with the suppressor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was... I don't remember who it was for.
Yeah. It was
a relative.
But
I don't remember who.
Yeah, and then we had a green laser on top.
Yeah.
Instead of sights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
That one was kind of a crazy build.
It's awesome, if you're doing your walk outside to do your farm chores or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a perfect skunk blaster, raccoon blaster or whatever. Or... What are those nasty looking things that play dead?
Possums?
Yeah, those things. Those are like the weirdest looking creatures.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did they play dead when you shoot at them?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyways, yeah.
So check out Concealment Solutions at concealmentsolutions.com.
Coupon code. Show me the candy.
Show me the candy. I can't remember my own discount code. Show me the candy, and I'll throw in some swag. I got lots of swag right now.
Nice. You said you ordered some on accident?
I ordered some keychains on accident. I thought I was ordering 2-inch stickers, and they were 2-inch keychains instead. I'm like, why are those so expensive? Whatever, I need them. Just get them coming. Yeah. And then I got them, and I'm like, crap.
All right, and last but not least, magholder.com.
Magholder, yep.
Use coupon code.
Get in the van, I have candy. That's where all the
that was the original
started.
Coupon code, yeah.
Everything spun out of control after that.
How deep is your love?
That one works as well.
And they make horizontal mag
carriers, belts. He has a knife on there now too, which is one of those spring-loaded ones.
Oh yeah.
So it comes straight out the front.
Oh, cool.
And you hit the button again, and it goes back in.
Okay.
So those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mag holder branded, and he's got gun cleaning mats. So kind of handgun size. Those are nice. If you haven't ever used a gun cleaning mat, they're just really convenient. They don't mar up your kitchen table or wherever you're working.
It prevents the nasty oil and carbon and all that crap from hitting your table.
Right, and if you've got a bigger gun, it's not going to ding up your table bumping around on there and stuff like that. So check out Magholder at magholder.com and pick some stuff up.
Yeah. Okay. We have some listener feedback.
All right.
We got a few of them. So this is Kevin C., our favorite Kevin.
Okay.
this is in regards to episode 127, and he said, Gene, talking about Zippo lighters, maybe you don't know about the jet flame inserts. Throw away the insert and buy one of these on Amazon, butane fueled.
Really?
Yeah.
That's intriguing to me.
So then...
Because I've got a Zippo that doesn't ever do anything because they're worthless unless you use them constantly. And if you're not a smoker, you don't use them constantly.
But that'd be cool with the jet flame inserts. You'll have to check it out on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out for sure.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
The second one is from Dave W.
Okay.
We'll say he's our favorite Dave.
Our favorite
today.
Dave. Okay.
Yeah. And he says, 6.8 millimeter, who? What? Never heard of such. Educate us, oh wise ones. And we were talking about how, I think Stan was talking about how, the military was going to move to a 6.8 cartridge. And then he actually included a link, Dave W. did, on how the U.S. Army was set to order 30,000 next generation squad weapons, NGSWs. So chambered in
6.8.
Yeah, it's not like 6.8 SPC, it's a 6.8 cartridge.
Oh.
So yeah, and I think they're working together with SIG, if I remember right. But
makes sense since that's where they're getting all their sidearms from nowadays.
And then the last one is from Mike G.
Okay.
And he says, Taco, I remember years back that Aguila came out with a zinc-based bullet called the IQ. The 9mm version was rumored to have been pulled off the market because it penetrated soft body armor. The big innovation that Aguila?
I think it's Aguila.
Yeah.
That's how I pronounce it.
Aguila touted was that the IQ bullet was barrier blind. Shoot it through a windshield, it wouldn't expand, hit soft tissue after the glass, and it would expand and fragment. I think you need to do some hollow point zinc bullets and do some testing. I wonder if they used some type of a hybrid bullet where it had like maybe a zinc tip or a zinc core or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it would, because zinc's not going to expand.
Right.
And it's hard enough that, like, in shooting some just harder lead alloys, which don't even come close to the hardness of zinc.
Right.
You have a difficulty having the hollow point expand in gel or jugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it would take, I don't know, maybe it would take some kind of a hybrid bullet to have it penetrate and expand.
How would you design something that doesn't expand or deform when it hits a hard object, but it does when it hits something soft?
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that with what I've played with, to get hollow points to expand properly, you got to use a soft alloy.
Yeah.
When you're using traditional. But okay, I will say with zinc though, it's 60. Well, the alloy of zinc that I've been playing with, the wheel weight alloy, the bullets come out to be about 60% the weight of a typical cast bullet, and using the same mold. Yeah. So the velocity, you could probably play around with powders to get them going a lot faster.
Yeah,
and velocity does help with expansion.
I wonder if it has a tip. So I've got some,
maybe like a zinc tip.
Well, I'm thinking,
I don't know. I've
got some Federal, I think they're HydroShock.
And they
10 millimeter high points, and they have that little pin in the middle.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's something like that. Once it gets something soft that goes into it, then it forces it out, and you get the expansion.
Yeah, so you have like a zinc core that's hard.
It's hard, but it pushes around.
It smashes the lead behind it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting. And what's also interesting is like shooting stuff with hollow points. Sometimes the hollow points fill up with
they get clogged.
Clothing or whatever,
and
then they don't expand.
Yeah,
and I've seen that too.
Yep.
And it's weird too because with some of the 38 specials, that big heavy 200 grain bullet. The hollow point with the really deep hollow point, I cast them up soft. I'd get these really nice expansions with the lever action, and then I think one of them just like didn't expand at all. So it just didn't. I don't know. Maybe it started tumbling. I can't remember. I'd have to rewatch my own video or something. But
too bad they deleted it.
I've been backing up and, well, restoring my videos on Rumble.
Nice.
And Utreon, and I think I have a backup going on Odyssey.
Okay.
So those 3 other sites.
Nice.
But
cool.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's our listener feedback for this week.
I communicated with a listener. What day was it? It was Friday. I got a text message from Jared C. Right? He's out in California. Hey, I'm in town for a wedding. And I'm thinking, oh, cool. He's going to come by and see us or something. What's the name of that store you guys are always talking about? I'm like, wow.
NPS?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow, you're in town from California. And instead of coming and seeing us,
he wants to go to that crazy discount store.
And he was probably disappointed. I was in there yesterday, and I'm like, oh, they got nothing today.
Yeah, no, it's hit or miss.
I know.
And
you have to go in all the time to get good deals.
Yeah, and when it's a hit, it's a really good hit. Like,
right.
Those Wilson Combat mags for like.
And I couldn't see
cheap.
any of those there, but they rearranged stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just put them somewhere else.
I'm still happy about my Beretta mags that I got. Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
Well, I'm happy about all the stuff I got.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I realized I don't have a handguard for that 300 blackout build yet. So I was kind of hoping they would have something there because they've had them before.
Yeah.
But they had nothing.
They had the Midwest Industries handguards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, those are really good.
Huh.
But they were the shorter ones, and...
I think this build's going to be a 16-inch build. I'm going to go full size.
Pistol length gas?
Yeah.
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 So you can still go with a shorter handguard if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It just depends the look you want.
Just looks goofy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny. So...
Anyway.
Let's move on into what we did with guns.
Okay. I will start because I will be shorter. I did sold my daughter's AR to...
What?
She wants to buy a car, and she's looking at me.
Man.
I'm like, I'm not buying you a car. Ran that one.
How much did you get for it?
$800. But I sold it to a buddy.
Did she run it out of fluids?
It was between 2 of them. Yes. It has no steering fluid and no coolant anymore.
Oh man, no cool. Oh jeez.
And it won't hold either. I can fill them up and it just pours right out.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So I'm like, I'm not paying anything to fix this thing because you guys didn't take care of it. You're buying your own car, So, and she's kind of in a panic. Well, she has a decent job, but she's still in high school. She's a senior, and so she can't work that much.
Okay, so how much did it go for?
What?
The AR.
So I sold it for $800.
$800. Oh, that's good. Who?
Yeah.
Customer or?
It was a friend of mine that I coach with, and he's the guy that I took to the range for the first time and brought a bunch of my guns. I brought that one also, so he'd already shot it, so he knew what it was like and everything. But anyway, yeah. So it's good. He now has his handgun. He's got a CZ P07, I think it was.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not a bad one. And now this AR, and I told him, I said, yeah, just let me know when you... His wife couldn't come to the range the time we went, so I said, let me know when you guys want to go again. And I said, now that it's warmer, we can go outside and not have to worry about
If they need to buy some ammo, you should talk to me. I just traded a bunch of subs to Antonio and got some factory ammo back. So
okay, but
I don't need factory ammo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so I did that, and I actually picked up a new gun.
What'd you get?
Friday? I got a CZ P10S or C.
The compact. Yeah.
That's so I bought one.
When you get bored of it, let me know.
No, this one's gonna be a keeper. It's the second one I've had. The first one I gave to my son, and it's just a nice gun.
Oh yeah, I like them. Those P10s, they let you get really close to the bore axis.
Yeah,
like it feels really good, and they shoot really good.
Right. Yeah. The triggers are decent. just everything about it is just kind of nice, and it's a good size. You know, kind of the Glock 19 size, but it's a little slimmer framed, and it's just a little more elegant than a Glock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone, even Glock owners, they're not
no one's going to argue with that.
Yeah, I know, you know. I like my Glocks, but
I like Glocks,
I'm not going to argue that it's like more elegant than anything else. Maybe more than a high point. You know, but a Glock's a Glock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the little functional Toyota Corolla or whatever.
Right.
That just keeps going and going.
Yep. Unless you give it to one of my girls. But anyway, so that one, I think I'm gonna take it to Lee, and I've got this obsession lately, like these color combinations. I really like that dark coyote with black. I like that combination on stuff. So I think I'm just gonna take it in and have him Cerakote the slide. Yeah. Coyote and maybe Teflon the barrel, and not go crazy on it, but kind of.
Have you Tefloned a handgun barrel before?
Yeah, my Polymer 80, he Tefloned everything on that for me.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's. I tend to hang on to stuff at least a little bit longer after Lee's put his hands on it.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm out shooting with my son, then we won't confuse him.
Yeah. True.
So. And I like personalizing my stuff. I like it.
Yeah, personalize it if you're going to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go crazy on it, so if it is something that I end up selling down the road, I think it will up the value rather than anything else. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you know, this is the time of the year where my family, we go through our 72-hour kit or bug out stuff.
Yeah.
And...
bug out bags, 72-hour kits.
We go through all the food, replace it with fresh stuff and all that good stuff. So if you haven't done that yet, or haven't done it recently, I think you should do it at least every 6 months.
Yeah.
Personally. And especially if you have young kids.
Because they grow.
Yeah. the clothes aren't going to fit them anymore. You take one out, the clothes out of one pack and put them in the younger ones. These are yours now.
Yeah.
But, so that's just something to keep in mind. Make sure you're keeping that up to date. And I had, I think I mentioned this last time, but I taught a class on
the
preparedness class on bartering and trading and stuff like that. And one of the lady that I do these classes with she's hardcore into like food preps, man. It's crazy. She's hilarious, but she has her own freeze dryer, and so she's talking about all the stuff that she freeze dries, and she freeze dries like 100 eggs at a time, raw eggs. And, crazy. And I was like, I said I want to try those sometime, and she's like, okay, I'll bring you some.
So do you just add water and then cook it?
Yeah. And so she shows up like 3 days later with this box, and she gives me 5 pounds of freeze dried ground beef, raw ground beef. So it was 5 pounds when she freeze dried it, and now it's like super tiny and small. Grilled chicken breasts, I think 45 powdered eggs, so freeze dried raw eggs. There was a couple of other things in there too, but the eggs, she's like, it's 1 egg is equivalent to a tablespoon of powder.
Whoa.
So you just if you're gonna make eggs in the morning, 2 tablespoons of powder and I can't remember how much water, and mix it up and then fry them. The only downside to this is, so I've got like 45 eggs in this sealed package. If I open it,
then you got to use a lot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
well, you throw it in the fridge, right? Or
no, I mean you could, but it's still. I mean, freeze-dried stuff keeps really well, but as soon as you open it, then you shorten its life.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that makes sense.
I wish you would have just brought me like a little sandwich bag.
Like a dozen eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Because then I could open it and test it. But now I'm like, this is all just.
You're gonna have to make what's that called? German pancakes? Or
oh yeah.
Yeah, that uses a ton of eggs.
Yes, it does. But
I wonder if you could use powdered eggs for that.
I don't know why you couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The trick with freeze drying your own stuff is figuring out, and I know there's recipe books and cookbooks and stuff like that out there on that subject, but figuring out how to rehydrate your own stuff can be tricky.
Yeah.
And there's probably some formula out there, but I imagine it varies, you know. I mean, rehydrating powdered raw eggs is going to be different than rehydrating a beef stew.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, but that's kind of what I've been doing.
Okay. So me, I've been doing a lot of experimentation. Like I fixed up that old Lyman 61 pot and got my zinc melting and casting with some stuff. And I got that new mold from Al last yesterday.
Okay.
And so I cast up a pile of 44 mag zinc bullets. So let's see, I've done some 30 cals, some 22 cals, like for 223.
Right.
The 4570 and the 44 mag. So
nice.
I'm excited to. I'm going to try and
lots
load
of stuff to test.
a bunch of stuff this weekend, today and tomorrow, if I have time.
Yeah.
And then take it out on Monday. I'm taking a vacation day just so I could go shooting because I haven't been able to. I can't remember the last time I went shooting. It's been a while, so I need to get out there.
Been at least a few hours.
Yeah. So I did develop a load with the AK.
Okay.
So I was going through my reloading closet, and you know how it's awesome whenever you find something, you're like, oh yeah, I remember these.
I forgot I had this.
So I had some gas-checked, powder-coated cast lead bullets that were for the AK. I actually made them for my Russian neighbor who has a Mosin Nagant. And he was complaining how shooting the full power 7.62 by 54R loads, in the M44, the short one, how they kind of hurt his shoulder. And instead of teasing him about calling him a baby or anything, then I said, well, I have a solution. So I had cast up some with the NOE. It's a pointy bullet mold that it was specifically for the AK.
Yeah. Since
the AK and the 7.62 by 54R uses about the same size bullets, then I loaded them up, kind of like an equivalent to a bunny fart, except it's supersonic.
Oh, okay.
And it was it's a
supersonic fart.
Yeah. Okay. It's a loud fart. So anyways, I loaded those up for him 5 years ago. Yeah. And then I just had some extra. Okay. And I checked in my ammo can for the 7.62 by 39, and I realized I didn't have as much as I thought I did because I had sold some to my uncle and cousin who needed it. Yeah. And so, anyways,
we were going to work a trade on some of that.
Yeah.
Because I've got some that I probably don't need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Since you don't shoot it very much, then
I've only got one gun that shoots that caliber right
trade
now.
Some 5.56 or something for
sure.
it. But yeah, anyways, I loaded up some AK ammo, and it uses that 135 grain bullet, gas checked, powder coated, and I think it kicks it out about 2,000 feet per second.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So it's I think that's slower than what the AK normally does.
Yeah.
But for a cast lead bullet, 2,000 feet per second is about perfect.
Yeah.
And being able to shoot it on my steel targets. At closer distances, just iron sights, and I could probably shoot it, 30 yards, 30, 50, 100 yards without damaging the steel. Whereas if I was using that Russian stuff, it's got that steel core and everything, then it's kind of hard on those steel targets, and you don't want to get divots in your steel.
Yeah, then they start shooting.
Then they shoot back at you. Yeah.
Huh.
So and I've been playing with Quick Load. It's a ballistic estimation software.
Right.
Just trying to figure out loads for the zinc bullets because it's really tricky because the bullets they take up the same space,
right,
inside the case as the lead counterpart, but they are 60% the weight, and so you can't just take the load data out there for the that light bullet because some powders are really sensitive to how much airspace is left there, and you wouldn't want to just pack it full of something that doesn't like to be
packed real
tight.
Yeah.
Some powders like to have almost 50-50 airspace and powder, and so if you were to just load it all the way up, you could have some weird stuff happen.
Yeah. Get some unexpected pressures.
Yeah. So I've been trying to to figure out some loads for in quick load, and I think I got some for the 44 mag and the 308 Winchester and 4570. 223 I haven't worked up any loads yet, but too much stuff I want to do, and my time is
time
just
in the day.
Yeah. I will say I do find that it is important to volunteer some of your time.
Absolutely.
To the community, the church, neighbors.
If you
all
aren't
that
giving
stuff.
back to the community you live in, you're a drain on society.
Yeah. So taking the time. Last weekend I think we took the boys out to.
Oh, that's
we
right.
had that like nice spring day. Like Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it was like
beautiful weather. We went out to 9 Mile Canyon.
That's a cool place.
It really is.
We saw more petroglyphs in that stretch concentrated than any other place in the world. I think
that's what. Yeah, that's what I was reading. Is that it's and you can just as you're driving, then you can see the petroglyphs right on that rock wall.
Yeah,
you just look on the darker type rocks and you can see them either are they painted or chipped.
I've seen it both ways. Yeah. So
it
seems like the darker rock. I think they removed the dark from the rock, and the other stuff they're using some type of a dye or paint or something that they make.
Yeah. Anyways, it was really cool.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff up there.
Well, we thought it was kind of interesting too because how there's the graffiti on some of the walls too.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if they use black paint or charcoal where they just wrote their names.
Yeah.
But we saw some of the dates and they were like. It's like over 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's not graffiti anymore.
It's not graffiti anymore. It's like...
So did you see...
Bob R., 1930 whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, we saw some from 1917 or something.
Yeah. Well,
it's like crazy.
And there's stuff... I've seen stuff like on some of the panels, not necessarily up that canyon, but in other areas that it's like pioneer era people have put their names and dates.
Those gangster pioneers.
Yeah. But...
graffiti.
What I found interesting, I'm pretty sure it's in that canyon. There is one section where there's a pullout, a parking lot, and there's stuff like right off of the road. Mm-hmm. And there's one section that's like some sort of private land that they have a fence around, and right in a panel they have painted in there to keep out on the panel.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, are you kidding me? What kind of an idiot?
Oh, that's terrible.
Keep out, preserve this natural... I'm like, oh my gosh, people are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just for the listeners, for their information, right? If they want to see a couple of the petroglyphs, I threw up a short video, like a reel on Instagram.
Yeah,
you can see.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. So, and also for your information, even though it says 9 Mile Canyon, it's not 9 miles. It's like 47 or 48 miles.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I remember,
like, who named that?
I read why it got that name, but I can't remember what it said. we go by there all the time.
9 miles to get to it or something from one of the
that might have been what it was
or
something like that. It's 9 mile. The opening of the canyon is 9 miles from something else.
Anyways, so between that and other stuff, I've been staying real busy. So I hope Monday is awesome weather, so I can get out and do some experimentation with all these loads I've been working on.
Are your kids on spring break next week?
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
So we've got big plans.
I don't know. My kids are getting they're teenagers now, so they're like too cool to hang out with dad.
Oh, really?
When it's like stuff I want to do.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so it's like, hey, you want to go shooting?
Yeah.
I want to sleep in. It's like, oh, come on.
I want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to play video games.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I am lucky. None of my kids have really gotten big into video games. Probably because we've discouraged it. But none of them have ever really pushed it too hard either.
Well,
so
nowadays too, video games are all on the phones.
Right, that's true. And
then
my youngest is on that to some degree.
Yeah,
but yeah, we've got some friends, some good friends that have coached with us on the bike team. That he just got a promotion and is moving to London.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm sorry,
that's a bummer.
But his wife's from Switzerland, so she's moving closer to home, but so we're like, we got to do something let's go do something cool. So their family and another family, that we both know we're gonna go do some awesome canyoneering.
Oh yeah, that's what
For
your
2 days.
canyoneering trip
I'm
is
super
about.
excited about
Okay.
it. I'm freaking in my early 50s, and this is my newest hobby. go slide through canyons and do these awesome
I know.
100-foot rappels. And
I wish I had started. I've always liked the outdoors.
Yeah.
But I wish I had discovered that part of Utah earlier.
Me too.
But
Me too, because as a kid, my parents both grew up here. I was raised in the Silicon Valley, but we would come out here every summer because most of their family was all out here. So this is where we would come on vacation, and we just thought this was the most boring place ever. Meanwhile, back in California, me and my brothers are cycling and hiking and backpacking and rock climbing and doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
and we're
little
like,
did-
Utah sucks. I'm like,
Little did you know.
I know. And then I move out here, and I'm like, oh, as soon as I can get out of here, I'm getting out of here. Now I'm like, you couldn't pry me out of here if you had to.
We went through the similar thing because both of us grew up in Washington,
Yeah.
Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
And, at first when we were going to school here, we were like, oh man, can't get out of here fast enough.
Right.
And then I got a job that was supposed to be temporary and,
Uh-huh.
while she was graduating.
Right.
And then we're like, huh.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like it here.
Uh-huh.
And then the more we discover
Yeah.
the outdoor stuff, we're
If-
oh man, you can even pay me to get out of here.
If you are an outdoors person at all, Utah has everything except surfing.
Yeah.
But we can even do that to some degree if you don't mind doing it inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm super pumped about that. My wife is kind of mortified that she is committed to this. But so we're going to be doing a bunch of this with the boys in our church also. And we did some last year, but to kind of prep the new kids and to refresh the kids that have done it before, my neighbor's got a tree house that's a good 25
So you're going to have them do some short rappels
we
first.
we did on Wednesday. We set 2 ropes going out of 2 different windows, and so they would come up and they'd show me how they're tying in, and I'd be like, hey, that's right, bail out, and they'd go. But before the boys showed up, I had my wife come and do it. I'm like, you got to do this first. She's done it once before canyoneering. I wasn't there. It was with actually one of the guys that we're going with next week, and she was okay. So I don't know why she's freaking out.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good to push yourself. It's
It is.
good to put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, for sure.
It's healthy, and it'll be uncomfortable for me too. I'm scared of heights, even though I grew up rock climbing and everything. As soon as I'm geared up, I'm fine. But if like tall buildings, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had a harness on and I was clipped into a rope,
Yeah.
I'd be okay on the long elevator rides.
Yeah. So anyways, we wanted to just also mention, now that the seasons are changing, it's still cold and snowy in some locations.
Yeah, it
And
will still be cold and snowy here before summer hits. But
Yeah. But we just wanted to mention a couple of the things as the seasons are changing, things you can do that help you with your emergency preparedness.
Yep. Yeah, go through your stuff, and not just your food storage and your bug out bag and stuff like that, but go through your gear too. Make sure
Test it.
Yeah.
Go camping. Test
go
it.
camping, or go to the range. Test your stuff. A lot of us have guns and holsters and other equipment that kind of lives in a bug out bag or something like that. When was the last time you pulled that out? When was the last time you shot it?
Yeah.
You might need to cycle that ammo. If you live in a humid environment, that ammo, if it's been sitting in there for years, it might be getting funky. You know? So go through your gear, check it, make sure everything's the way it was when you left it.
Yeah, and I would say also make sure if you have propane tanks, doesn't hurt to buy an extra 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And go fill them up.
Yep. We have 3, but unfortunately my grill doesn't work right now.
Yeah.
I have to figure out what's going on with that. But yeah.
Test out your stuff. It's good to make sure that what you have works.
Yeah.
And you know how to use it.
If you have a backup generator, when was the last time you ran it?
Started it, yeah.
Because you have to start those and run those periodically. Even if you're putting stabilizer in the gas and stuff like that, you still need to start them and run them periodically to make sure they're okay. Electronics and machines like that don't like to sit. If they get used regularly, they actually have a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
Than if they just sit on a shelf forever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, make sure your stuff that you're gonna rely on in a bad situation is gonna take care of you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, right? So I have a backpacking tent that I took on that snow camp out, and it was a good thing that I took it on that camp out, because I realized one of the flaws of the design is that it relies on staking it.
Oh.
In order for it to function correctly.
It's a little harder to do in the snow.
In the snow, yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, like on our camping list, I always, and this is something everybody should have extra of, is a spool of paracord.
Oh, for sure.
And because I had like a bunch of paracord
cheap
with me, I was able to take where the stakes would hold the tent down. I took the paracord, tied it from there, and ran it to different trees and stuff. Yeah. And I was able to, make that tent work.
Yep, that'll work.
But understanding your equipment and then the pros and cons, the flaws, that kind of stuff. So
the drawbacks.
Yeah, if you're going to be camping in some really hard dirt, where you can't stake it down.
You still need to get one of those hammock tents like I got.
I do need to do that. But I will say, I do have the gear to stay in a hammock. So I've got a tarp, I can run over it, and I got a bug net and all that stuff. Yeah. But to have it all in one would be really
more
cool.
Slick.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Who's the maker of those?
Haven Tents.
Haven Tents.
They're out of Sandy, Utah.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're made overseas, unfortunately.
Yeah, like everything,
almost everything else. But it is a Utah-based company, and it's a good product. I wish it was smaller. I wish it would pack down a little bit smaller, and I wish it was lighter, because I have a minimalist tent. Yeah. That is a 4-man tent that is way smaller and way lighter than that 1-man hammock tent. Yeah, but it's not nearly as comfortable. Yeah, that hammock is amazing.
I was gonna say, camping with a hammock, it's kind of funny, because once you have the underquilt, all the gear, like the rain fly, the mosquito net, it ends up taking up more space and weighs more than a small backpacking tent.
Yeah, than a 2-man tent. Yeah, I agree.
And it's kind of funny. Even my 4-man, I have a Alps 4-man tent. It's still like smaller than
than your whole setup.
Yes.
Then there's other stuff. So the Hennessy hammocks aren't bad, but they're still fairly bulky, and they're not. I wouldn't call them ultra light by any stretch. Yeah. But they're pretty slick also. But they're not as comfortable, and they're not as convenient as the Haven tents.
Yeah, you'll have to see if you can get me a discount on one of those or something.
Just do what I did. Just email them and say, hey, can I come up to the warehouse, and have you got any seconds? That's all I did.
He gave me a good deal.
He gave me a sweet deal.
Yeah.
Small businesses like that, I mean, they only have, I don't know if they even have a handful of employees. Yeah. I mean, the owner he's all over the world, just traveling and posting on his tents and stuff like that, and he just has people that run stuff for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
But they're pretty slick.
All right, well, we are just about out of time.
No, we're not out of time. We're out of energy.
No, we're out of time. I got to eat some dinner.
Yeah, see?
I'm hungry. Thanks for listening, subscribing.
Share it with your friends.
Stay safe, have fun.
Take somebody shooting and be nice. They're like, oh yeah, it's a place where serial killers can come to let their hair down.